So, I'm not really sure what episode this is, but if you clicked on this is gonna be talking about breakups and that kind of thing and my experience with it. I recently had one and need some clarity on it, and this is a good opportunity to order it out from the chaos. And yeah. Maybe there's someone else out there that likes Zippos. Zippos are classy. It's just really hard to come back from someone, if you loved something that was, the only word I can find is Machiavellian, something that intentionally hurt you with the knowledge they were going to hurt you, and they did it anyway for their own benefit without considering you. That doesn't matter. You don't matter. Their own benefit matters, and the end justifies the means. So if they have to do evil to justify to get to their good, then that's all the women I've ever talked to, except for maybe a handful, to be honest. It's definitely what's pushed in society nowadays. It's just that. And I watch these videos of guys similar to this where they talk about it, and it's I don't know, there's no point. I don't think the point is to judge the evil, but to see it as an opportunity to rise above it and to try to do what's best for the best in me. Because otherwise, why am I even here? And if you're chosen by God, if you wrestle with your consciousness. So then therefore, well shoot, I'm pretty screwed, because I'm wrestling every day. Every hour, every minute. So much time wasted. How do I vent it out? Do I put it in music? Do I put it in poetry? What do I do? What's the best way to go about it? There's so much chaos that happens after a breakup. It's hard to keep your head straight sometimes. The best advice I ever heard, though, was don't go back to them. Obviously, that's the hardest advice, and that's why it's the best advice. If you kill someone, but you admit that you did it, does that make you any better? You're just as bad as the person who killed someone. Now, if they lie about killing someone, sure, you're better than them, but let's say they never found out. Well, you're just as bad as that person. So admitting, your guilt does not make you innocent, which I think a lot of women skew up pretty bad. They think that because they feel guilty, they are now innocent from what they did, and they can just go about the world creating whatever truth they want to serve them in their own manners, whether it's selfish or not, it doesn't matter. It's whether they're aware of it or not doesn't matter. It is what it is at the end of the day, which would be through the truth, which is above all. And so you look at the truth and you abide by the truth and you serve the truth, not your own purposes. Now, how many people have you ever met that even remotely talk like this? That even remotely care one little bit about honesty and truth, and not only say it, but it weighs on their consciousness like they're gonna go to hell if they don't do it, because they understand that they deserve hell if they don't bring forth the best that they are, because if they don't bring forth the best that they are, then they're, by that means, serving which is, but it could be better, and because they're serving what is and not making it better, therefore they are actually serving what's lowest or what's lower than what could be, which is if someone's being oppressed and you don't do anything, you are taking the side of the oppressor one way or the other. That's how it goes, and that's where it's you look at Nazi Germany. It's such a good example of why it's so essential to be good and honest and positive, and not just positive but be true, to be true, because that's what's gonna happen over and over again if this doesn't happen. You look at Nazi Germany and like, there's so many people in that country that didn't say anything, that didn't stand up, that just let it happen. They just wanted to worry about their own little life. And so if you apply that structure of moral rights and wrongs to your own brain, then therefore it becomes abundantly clear all the shit that you're not doing that you could be doing if you really knew just how important it was that you do it, and just exactly how much damage is going to be caused if you don't. And now, yeah, and so why is it that there's so many people that only care about whether or not the movie their boyfriend picks for them is entertaining enough, or they only care about whether or not their boyfriend is upset with them? They don't actually care about the truth. They don't actually care about being honest. They don't understand it. They don't even care to begin to understand it. They don't even care to begin to understand at all. At all. It's fucking flabbergasting. It's insanity. Straight bizarre to me how people can just pretend like the fact that they exist means nothing, and like how how okay they are with chaos, and how they refuse to open their eyes because it hurts too. Well, duh. Of course it hurts. Otherwise your eyes would already be open. Like, I wish to suffer so that I may love. You ever hear a girl say that? Yeah, good luck. I am alone, I thought, and they are everybody. Frederick, oh no, my TV's playing, 1 second. Time out. Sorry about that. But there's this Frederick Nietzsche, Dostoevsky, whatever, they're philosophers. Any big philosopher in time are always good people to read. Philosophy is really the key to life, in my opinion. Because if you're free up here, everything out here doesn't matter. Which is just about every fucking woman you'll ever talk to. They can't get past the literal first fucking step of fear. They're stuck at step 1, which is face yourself. And if you don't integrate your shadow, what you're capable, that if you don't come to terms with the fact that you're capable of evil, then you will always be ignorant to all the evil that you do, and then you will use your inability to confront that evil, and you'll turn it into moral accusation against those who call it out or call it forward from you. And so then, all the relationships where the guy is calling out the best in the woman and wants the best for her, and he's really doing everything he can, no matter how good or bad that is, he's doing the best he can to bring that out, and then she doesn't do the same, and so then he's left hopeless. And now he has to do what Jesus did, which is continue to love her, like the ultimate step, and really step up to the plate. And then, it just goes on from there, and then you have to keep becoming more and more better. Well, the woman will stay exactly the same and do nothing to play. Like, how many women have you ever dated that love you to the degree that they're willing to play with you? No, they're all just too scared. Like, and then, after you date so many, the only options you have left are bitterness and resentment. And it's like, well, those aren't your friend. Those aren't going to help you. So what's going to help you? Your God, your creator, your higher source, whatever it is, the thing that gives you power when you don't have power, that's going to be there for you. Maybe not power, but the thing that gets you through it when you can't get through it by yourself, the void within you is there of your service if you decide to call upon it, which is a way of, if you face your shadow, then you can use your shadow to carry yourself forward. And let's say you go through a horrible breakup. Well, if you're part monster, you're not going to crumble, and your life isn't going to fall apart. And so to a degree, it's essential that you be part monster. That way, the woman you're dating, if she goes fucking crazy, which they all do at some point, you can be a safe space for them. Now, let's say you're young though and you don't quite understand this, which almost all men do. 20, you're not gonna have life figured out when you're in your 20s. You're gonna maybe know a little bit, but almost everyone when they're 40 thinks they were pretty much an idiot in their 20s. And so then therefore you come to this like, okay, I know what I need to do. I don't really know how to do it, but hey, let's make an oath that we're both gonna try to do that the best we can, hell or high water. And then they leave and betray you every single fucking time. May a woman, by the grace of God, prove me wrong. Please. The only women I've ever found that don't do that are on the internet. And God knows you're never gonna find the woman of your dreams on the internet. Unless you're just lucky. But luck doesn't really exist. Luck is only whenever opportunity meets preparation. And that's why when you're single, you don't want to try to look for the perfect partner. You want to be the perfect partner, and that way the woman for you will find you, because that's just how it works. You don't chase them, they chase you. I mean, yeah, and it's just insane. I can't understand how this is not blatantly understood upon within all of society. And I'm scared to understand that, because the more I understand why it's not a thing, the more I'm going to be in face to face with all the evil that is causing that not to be a thing. And then to come face to face with that right after a long-term relationship breakup, well, I'm facing bitter and resentment. Now I have to come more and more face to face with all this evil and do what Jesus did and, forgive those who trespass against us. It's a fucking mountain of obstacles. And it's like, okay, well, if I tell the truth, it is promised that I can achieve that. And so then I tell the truth. And through the breakups and the pain and all the fucking mistakes, I become stronger. And that is where the adventure lies. It's aka the hangman's path. Now, not everyone's going to be like me, but I am an intuitive introvert, I believe, from my understanding. Who really knows nowadays what anything is because of how much shit there is out there? But Carl Jung is an amazing psychiatrist, and he has several interviews where he talks about intuitive introverts, and they're the hardest to understand, the hardest to comprehend. And it's like, why doesn't... I'm not really sure what the question would be. And life isn't about finding the right answers, it's about asking the right questions. And so then, a lot of women, all they care about is the answer. And so they go, hey, this guy makes me feel happy. The answer to all my problems is right here. Instead of asking, this guy makes me happy. I don't want to fuck this up. What can I do to ensure this has the best possible chance of succeeding? And then go that route. Instead, it's, this guy needs to give me something, that way the answer that I think he is correct, that way I'm not wrong. And ultimately it all just goes right back to them, 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 every fucking time. And it's borderline impossible to overcome it. And that's why I see the importance to overcome it, and how important it is to not let the bitterness and resentment overcome me, and to be able to go to work and stand strong, and to just function. If you are only a good person because you expect a divine reward, then you are not a good person. Like, would somebody prove me wrong? No one... If you get your facts straight good enough, nobody can prove you wrong, and that's fucking scary, because you come to some pretty horrifying realizations about the nature of people and the nature of yourself. And then, just by existing, people around you become more aware of that within themselves. And then, with today's society and how the government and media and all that runs things, it's intelligence is shunned upon, hated, kicked out, fucking pushed away. And like, to truly stand for what's true, God only knows the upper limits of that. No one does. And it's just hard to how you're supposed to be single. What's the point of being single? If you're not going to make a commitment and have a family and reproduce, then aren't you just out for yourself at that point? To some degree? Like, which could be eliminated? To whatever degree that is, it could be eliminated. So then, like, the fuck is everyone doing? Other than feeding into their own selfish needs. Like, how many people play games, and whenever you're playing, you intentionally play the losing team to help them win? Or you intentionally give the fucker on the other team that's been playing the whole entire game, doing horribly, you let him get a kill, you hunt him down, you let him get a kill, you let him kill you. Like, there's a... to intentionally, actively seek out being good, and not just doing it when it comes to you. It's hard to not look at other people and to look at myself, because I'm aware of how weak I am, and I understand that weak people turn their inability into moral accusation, and so then to not do that, because that's what she did to me, then it's beautiful, because it gives me the clarity to see exactly where I need to go and how to move forward and move up and keep going. And like, what I've always done with my whole life is every girl I get with, I take from it what I can and learn the best I can. And I've had a few experiences where it's been true love. And what the last one taught me was that they're never all the way in. They will never fully trust you. They will lie to your face. They will deceive you. They will manipulate you. Unless they are honest with themselves and they can come to terms and face their own capacity of manipulation, and then give examples of that to you to prove that that's not what they're up to, so to give you the reassurance that when you stake your future in them, they will not do you wrong. And so then you can use that as a framework anytime they fall out of that and make a mistake like they're going to correct them. And it's their own words against them at that point. You're not even in their life. You're just like keeping them straight, keeping them together, keeping them doing the best they can. And that's incomprehensible to women. It's fucking insane. I can't even get a single conversation out of a woman where it's, and then like, you're not supposed to make them the prize and all that, and it's like, okay, well, it's a lot easier to not make the woman the prize when she understands that making herself the prize is the wrong thing to do, and she doesn't even put herself in that place to be perceived as in the first place. It's so hard not to become bitter and resentful. It's so hard, especially when it's clawing at your feet, and it's like, the only advice I've ever gotten was from people that have been through the same shit. And so don't get with women that didn't have parents that taught them how to overcome their own shadow. Because a shadow is not just Machiavellian. It's not just taking pleasure out of hurting someone else. It's also hurting someone else and refusing to acknowledge that you're hurting them because you were ignorant that you were hurting them. They call it out. Now, it's much easier for you to stay ignorant, because if you stay ignorant, it's not technically a sin. And so then at the degree to which it's the least amount of sin, they will never move beyond that. And they will keep it the least amount of sin for as long as possible until they either have to leave or you fucking make them look at it. And then so for a man, it's more about learning how to hold the security while you can show that to them. And then it's for them, it's more about holding the reassurance and following. The man's the leader, the woman's the follower. And then if the man fucking fucks up, he taught the woman how to lead too, so she's able to lead. And if the woman fucks up, well, the man's there and the woman taught him enough so that way he can, like, it's vice versa. It goes both ways. And how am I making so many mistakes, apparently, if I sit here and is what I'm doing not enough? That's the only answer I get every time. And so I do more and more and more and more and more and more. And then I'm at a point where it's just... either I'm going to keep getting fucked over my entire life, or my kids are going to be the reason that the world doesn't end, because I'm going to raise them so fucking well that the whole entire world's going to be saved, or I'm going to save the world. Like, it's like, that's what you're aiming at. Now, if I only become a beacon of light for the tiniest fraction of a corner of the world, well, I am still that beacon and I'm still that light, and that does not change. Nothing changes that truth. And so then, the only thing that would change that truth is I could be more light and I could be more of a beacon. And so as I move forward, I do these podcasts and I start creating things and I try to spread the word and I try to say it in a nice way and to make it as digestible as possible. Because once you really start understanding yourself, the amount of word lettuce you have to go through to get to one good insight is insane. And the better you get at it, the less word lettuce you need to navigate these insights, to navigate your subconscious. And it's like, what the fuck do women do to fucking be a good mother? To be a good mother, literally. How many of them do you see in their 20s and they're just scared head to toe that they're going to be the reason their kids hate them, or their kids are resentful or mean or spread evil in the world? You don't see that. Moms are too scared about not being able to smoke weed or drink when they're having a baby. That's all they worried. That's all it seems that they're worried about. If you're full of resentment and hate, which I am currently, which is easy to do, but not the right thing to do, and it's hard to. It's not even hard to come back from that, but it's definitely an adventure which has hard times. It's not all hard. I don't really know what to say. There's no good conclusions other than hearts that can bend do not break. And so, if you promise that you'll break your heart for someone, you better go that fucking distance, or you are a betrayer and a liar, which is probably what your parents are, and that's probably where you got it from. And it's so fucking lonely. You know, she got what she wanted. She got to be alone. I'm gonna get what I want. The truth. Would you rather be alone? Or would you rather have the truth on your side? And then you try to help him and they're just like, nope, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. And let the water take me where it may. You don't tell people these things because you want them to make it to heaven. Like, sure, that might be part of the reason sometimes, but really, the main factor why anyone or any philosopher ever spoke up whenever he could have sat in his room for the rest of his life was because he realized that he could stop people from burning in hell. And so then you're doing a sin by not spreading that wisdom. And for all the people that agree with me, there are very few that speak up. How is that? It's like everywhere I look, I see fucking pain. I see misery. I see helplessness. I see Machiavellian mindsets. I see psychopaths. I see cowards. I see weak people. And I see it rubbing off on me in all types of ways. I see my ego pleading with me to fucking just give in. I see my head in a constant torment for the splinter of truth that I may accept. I see the potential of what I could be. I see what I'm incapable of doing. Does anyone else care to even try to see that in themselves? Why is it that the average Joe isn't trying to become the best Joe. The average Joe just doesn't want to be the worst Joe. That's all that matters now. And so instead of being on the top half of possible good, we're now on the bottom half across the globe. You know, what are you doing? Everything that you did that made you feel good is taken away from you. You go inwards. You go inside yourself. At least that's what the average Joe does. Now, what should the average Joe do when they're confronted with their shadow? And they're confronted with it against their will, so there's no running away. It's similar to that story of, I forget his name, but the man who God called upon to go preach, to the one city, and then he was thrown. He tried to run away and hide on a ship, and he was thrown off the ship, and then he was in the belly of a whale for 3 days, and then he got spat up on shore, and then he went to go teach the city. And it's like, well, if you want to learn the hard way, you can learn the hard way. And all these women I see learning the hard way, and then they blame that on men instead of listening to, or they blame it on their boyfriend instead of listening to the boyfriend that's telling them this is what's manifesting, this is what has manifested on this, and this occasion, this is what just manifested now, this is what's going to manifest. If this, or this, as far as I see, doesn't change, it's going to happen again. If I'm wrong, tell me. If there's something that you don't want to do that I just mentioned, tell me. If there's something you're willing to do that you could do, that you would do, then tell me. Let's negotiate. Whatever the fuck happened to that? I thought a woman's fantasy was Beauty and the Beast. Like, psychology agrees that that's a woman's fantasy. But I think that women are so fucking deluded nowadays that they believe that their fantasy is themselves. And prove me wrong, please. I would love to read a 3-hour lecture or like a 3-paragraph lecture in the comments of how I'm wrong, and it could point it out so correctly that I break down into tears and I get to get some more truth. Like, kill me with the truth before you comfort me with lies. And don't wait until you left me to tell me. The fuck is wrong with you? I would have to be so fucking evil to do that shit. It's insanity. I know this because I've done it. And all I am to fucking women now is this monster that shows them the monster within themselves. And until I can figure out how to fucking keep a woman, I will always be that monster. And so then that's my path forward. And it's like, well, fuck. Men are fucked. Isn't there a woman out there that wants to be the savior? That wants to be like, hey, I see all these women choosing themselves and not choosing being a good mother. I want to be a good mother. I'm going to fill that gap that's all over society. You see it everywhere. It's not pushed like anywhere. It is, but it's just not as big. There's, negativity is always louder than positivity. And one consequence of this is I'll definitely be seeking more of that positivity in women instead of the negativity, and hopefully that helps me attract a woman that wants that also, and is willing to hold me accountable, and isn't scared to face what I'm going to try to do to run away from that accountability. And because I'm not scared of what women do, because I've dealt with it many times. They always run away from it, and so then you, as a man, you can get pretty good at helping them face it. And what woman out there helps their man face accountability? Helps their man stick true to himself and become more of himself. The closest I've ever seen is a woman, Jordan Peterson's wife. He gives me hope. That man is, for sure, a main reason why many men are still haven't given up hope and don't fall into the bitterness and resentment. And it's amazing. I love that. And I love that there's still men out there that aren't giving up, that just stand strong. And regardless of how shaky those knees may be, and regardless of how quiet that scream is during the nighttime, and regardless of the tears that fall that no one sees, you still choose to be good. Regardless of what the devil does to you, or what evil does to you, or whatever you want to call it, regardless of what that does to you, you don't let it win. And you fight it. Regardless of what it takes. You have the faith in things unseen. And you forgive those that trespass against you. And you be honest. And you put your best foot forward. And why isn't there more of that? You're like, obviously some degree of evil is why there isn't more of that. It's like, what's the opposite of play? Tyranny. Well, we live in a world of tyranny. So many relationships are just tyrannical relationships. That's what's spread. And so as a young person, you're obviously going to be influenced, and to break out of that, I can't believe, it's hard to believe that more people aren't understanding of this, aren't more forgiving. It's just hard to have people try to comfort you, and all you can see in them is the same spirit that betrayed you, and so you can't let them comfort you. And you have to stick around those that not only will eat with you and play along, but will also starve with you and still do their best to play along. That just doesn't seem to exist, but it does. And it's okay. We have our work cut out for us. That's about all. If you're a man watching this and you made it this far, I say with all the truth and honesty that I can, with the power invested in me, may God bear me the consequences. May I bear the consequences. May God place the consequences on me. That when I tell you this is true, it is true. That you care, and that you are a good person, and that you understand that you must face your shadow, and that is a good thing. And I pray that you see the light before the dark takes you. Amen.